Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I am so excited to share a fun scrapbook layout I'm working on as part of a team collaboration. Every third Friday of the month, some of us on Erin's of Crafty Concepts with Erin on her team put together our interpretation of the same sketch. We have been working our way through Close to My Heart's Make It From Your Heart, Volume 6. And we are working on pattern 18. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is the next to the last scrapbook sketch in this book. So you'll have to stay tuned with us to see what we will do after next month's collaboration videos. Okay, so here is the sketch here. And it has 7 different colors of cardstock. And the size of the pictures is has 3 4x6s, 3 2x2s, and 3 3x3s. And it has left a space here about 4 1/4 inches in height for the title, and a little bit less than that maybe down here for some journaling area. So here is the 2 different versions that they share with you in here of how they put the layout together. Over here on this first one obviously is the 4x6 over here, and I'm going to follow along more with this one because to me, you know, you read a book left to right, and to me in my scrapbook albums, I always move left to right. Like my title starts over here on the left side, and then the rest of the story goes to the right. This layout is going to be all about the fun and excitement that my 2 sons had one winter day in 2009. There's Kylan and Casey up here at the top of the hill. And so then here's big brother pushing little brother, you know, on down the hill there, giving him a good push there. They had such a blast sledding, and I really wanted to showcase these joyful moments. And I just think that scrapbooking is such a great way to relive and to preserve these memories. So here's all the photos that I will be using for this layout. My husband took these photos, and I think he got some really good action shots in here. And you can just tell by the expression on their faces that you can just see the excitement and the great fun that they had. I mean, look at this. And then, you know, their hair, or, you know, Casey's hair, you know, flying and everything. So it's all about capturing the feeling of the moment. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started by gathering up our supplies. I'm going to pull some winter themed paper from my stash and look for some embellishments, like through, I've got a whole bunch of stickers that I need to go through and just a lot of different other things. So I'm going to look for some winter themed embellishments. And of course, you know, don't forget those basic supplies, your adhesives, your scissors, and then get close to you whatever other tools that you think you're going to need. Part of the process is picking out the papers that best complement the pictures and the theme of your layout. I actually have a lot of winter themed paper. I didn't realize how much I had until I started pulling it out for this layout. So what I have here actually just might be only a third of what I have in my stash. You want your pictures to pop off of the pages. So to me, that means I don't want too much busyness on my papers, but I don't want too much blah on my papers either. So you have to find that just right balance. So your just right papers. The papers that I have here come from 3 different collections. The first one is this back row, and that is from Tonic Studios, and it's called Winter's Veil. And when I purchased these, it was just beautiful. I didn't have any pictures in mind when I purchased this pack, but it just really caught my attention. And I like the snowflakes the best, and then the wood, the deer. And then my papers down here to the green here, that comes from Echo Park's Chilling with My Snowmies. I thought that was really cute. And I could see when I purchased it, I was thinking about making cards and things like that. It's got some stickers with it. But for the layout, I was thinking like the blues, and this is snowflakes, and maybe the green. And then from the sleds, the rest of the way here, it comes from Cartabella's Wintertime. I saw this packet and I fell in love. Again, didn't have any idea what I was going to do with it, but I knew that I had to have it. And when I was putting this together, the sled is what came to my mind. It's just like, this is going to be perfect. But I was also thinking of all the blues. All right, so let's go ahead and lay my pictures down and see how all of this works. So now that I have them laid down here, I'm not really a big fan. I'm not a fan of any of the papers with it. And I really did. I thought for sure that my sleds paper would be it. And I was even thinking maybe the mittens. But to me, I feel like my pictures are lost. I don't feel there's enough contrast between the paper and the pictures to make my pictures pop a bit off of my layout. I think there's like too much blue, too much white. I don't know. I'm not liking it. I'm gonna pull out some other papers and see what I can come up with. As I started to go through my stash, I remembered that last month I went up to the crop at my local scrapbook store up in Lee Summit, and I picked up some paper, and telling on myself, I haven't fully unpacked from my crop last month. I haven't had much time. But anyway, this was still in my bags, so I went ahead and pulled this all out. Now, this is a mixture of some paper. I've got Photo Play. It's from Snowflakes. And then also from Simple Vintage Winter Woods. And that's from Simple Stories. And then this is Basil, I think is how you say it. And the color for it is Mysterious Teal. And teal is my absolute favorite color. And I did have this brown is Peanut Fudge is the name of it. And let's see how all this looks and see, hopefully, I can tell you that I'm liking this. This is making them pop to me. I think this is going to work. So, all right. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the next step. I want to use this journal card as a title for the layout. I'm thinking of having it at a tilt here to create movement that matches the sledding theme. First, I want to find the placement for my pictures. Now, I want to keep these two of the boys together over here on the right. Those are from the same slide down the hill. And I'll keep this one by itself over here on the left. Now, I want to keep things this way because if I put the two together over here on the left side, well, then I can't put the title on the left. And for this layout and the way that my mind works, I really want the title on the left to start the whole story off. Now I'm putting pictures of Casey over here on the left, over in this column, because it's him that's over here in this 5x6 going down the hill. Oops, I meant 4x6. I'm trying to get them in some sort of sequence to capture the action and the thrill of the ride. Now, I've got the same thought while working with Kylan's pictures over here on the right. I just really love the expressions on their faces, especially when they're catching some air here. I chose a neutral color for the background. It also has a really good blend of the other colors I will be using on this layout. And I also like that it has snowflakes and text mixed in with it. I think that it all really captures the winter vibe. Don't you think so too? I'm looking back at the measurements for the cuts and the placement of all the different cardstock. One of the things I really like about these sketches is the amount of detail that is given, such as the order in which to cut and lay your cardstock down on the layout. Like A means that it's the first piece that's laid down, and then B, and then so on. I very recently learned about this little detail. All of these longer pieces of cardstock are recommended to be 10 inches in width, but for my layout, I'm going to leave them at 12 inches. The reason being is that I printed my pictures larger than what the sketch recommended. The sketch recommended for the pictures to be 2 by 2s, and I made them almost 3 by 3s, just a little smidgen smaller. The bottom piece is 2 3/4 inches in height. Now, I like to dry fit my layout first before I adhere anything together. This next piece is 2 inches in height, and the third is 2.5 inches in height. Get that straightened up there. And then the fourth is 2 inches, and then the top piece is 3/4 inches in height. Now, over here on this other side, all of these pieces are 4 inches in width. And then this little thin piece of teal is about 10 inches in height and about a 1/2 inch in width. Now over here, I'm using a zip strip off of one of the other papers to put that same teal color down here at the opposite end. I just really like that symmetrical look to it. Now, the only thing that I don't like about dry fitting my everything down is that things do shift and move around, but I'd rather have things shift and move around but still be able to move them if I don't like them where they're placed at. It's much easier to deal with the shift than it is to deal with the stick. Now I'm placing these pictures of Casey over here in the column, and these pictures are bigger than what the sketch recommended. So I'm going to have the pictures hang off of the cardstock just a little bit, which is fine with me, as that I feel it actually gives more depth to the layout. Now I want to see if I like this narrower piece of the teal over here on the left than on the right where I originally had it. Now, as I'm looking here at the sketch and the directions here, I realize that I kind of flubbed a little bit with the measurements, but really, what's it going to matter? Because nobody knows except me and now all of you. Once I have all these pictures laid down, I'm looking at things here. I'm, got a little bit of space in between the pictures, and well, I'm just not really liking that thin piece of teal over there. Now I'm going to switch it back to the way that I originally had it. Now I like to leave some space in between these little pictures, because I feel like it lets each one stand out on its own, and all the pictures don't get blended together. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get Kylan's pictures laid down here and get them spaced out so that they can breathe. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tilt that one a little bit opposite there. And then I'm going to lay down my 4x6s here. Even though I have my pictures matted with the white when I print them off, I just feel like there's something missing from them as I lay here. It looks blah to me. And voila! I think this brown matting makes them pop. What do you think? Now comes the fun part, adding some embellishments. I'm using some of the journal cards from one of the kits, and I'm just going to put this up here with a thought to type in some journaling. From my stash, I found these wire embellishments. Any of these would work, but I really like that snowflake, maybe over here. I don't know. I also have these felt snowmen, maybe down here. Not really too sure. Maybe over here. Eh. I'm going to reach over here and get these little journal cards. I like this one here that says let it snow, but it blends in too much with the background. Maybe with the bird? No, that makes it seem too crowded. How about these words chill over here? No, not liking that. I do like this little medallion. It says our favorite days are snow days. It just, I don't know. The Winter Wonderland. I could cut the circle out, but I don't know. I recently started experimenting with some embossing folders, and I really like these trees. I learned this technique from Chelsea from Smarty. I'm sure I've said her name wrong, but I really like these trees, but they just don't go with this. Yeah. I'm just not happy with how things look with what I have. I'm going to go look around on Cricut, see what I can find. Hey, I found some things. This snowflake is perfect. I inked it up with the periwinkle ink from Close to My Heart, and then I cut out a partner for it with a silver glitter paper. I remembered that I had this embossing folder that actually is from Tonic's Winter Veil collection, Midnight Flurry. So I highlighted the snowflakes with the silver embossing powder here from Stampin' Up, and I will use this for my background for journaling. And speaking of journaling, why do you journal? I used to journal just to get the basics down, like the date, the place, and the people. Now I am more purposeful with how I journal. Have you ever looked through those really old albums and wondered what people thought about those different events? Recently, I have begun putting my thoughts and feelings into the journaling. This little snowman I made with Cricut just kind of finishes things off. I used the Ripened Pumpkin Novo Drops, a black glaze pen, and an old Creative Memories Precious Elements green metallic pen. And then for his hat, I used Close to My Heart's Candy Apple ink. I just think he is so darn cute. And here is the finished layout. I love the little sparkles that the glitter paper adds to this. And I really love how this really turned out. I love the embossing technique there that I used. I think it just makes it all complete. Let's see how I did with the sketch. I have the 3 4x6 papers, pictures, but I turned them, differently. And then instead of using the 2x2s, then I had made these 3x3s, and I kept these 3x3s. So, I stuck to it, pretty close. But I really do love how this has really turned out. It is such a fun way to keep the memories alive. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed seeing this process. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more scrapbook inspiration. Let me know in the comments how you scrapbook your winter memories. Happy crafting. Bye-bye.